Erlo, a very good evening to you, and thank you for coming in. I mean, you listened to this particular case as reported on by our Zikona Chona, and a nanny allegedly killing a child is not the sort of thing that one could easily pick up, I'd imagine, when interviewing a nanny. Am I right?
Very, very true. It's very, very hard to determine those type of traits straight out of an interview. And there's a lot of screening that goes into what we do to ensure that the nannies that we do place are actually suitable to do the job.
And what sort of screening would a parent have to do in order to find the right kind of nanny? I mean, when you speak to the average parent, a lot of them just look for someone who's got chemistry, if you will, with their child, where the child really does not mind being in this person's company.
You know what, the first step would be is to try and use a recognized agency that's got a good reputation, who does these type of screenings and who has got an experience with it. But not everybody can always afford an agency to work through. And what parents need to do is first accept responsibility for the person who's going to work for their child and look after them. So what I would say is the first thing to check, make sure the person's got valid ID documents that you can keep. References, work references, to actually speak to people who she worked for before as a testament or a confirmation of her character working with children. Third thing I would say, definitely make sure that she's got a training course for the work that she wants to do from a recognized training institution.
But the difficulty for most of us is that the nanny sector, childminder industry, if you can put it that way, is largely informal. It works on a reference where I tell you about someone who might have reared my kids or helped raise them at a point. You then take them on. There's no really thorough testing. So the informality of the work, I suppose, to an extent, complicates the ability to then screen the individuals thoroughly.
Absolutely correct. You know, a lot of the nannies gain the experience in personal homes. It's not an institution or a definite department that's created for this, for South Africa as a whole, which creates a big issue. So yes, it is very informal, but in the last couple of years, there's a great focused shift in security, where police clearance certificates are a requirement now to make sure that the lady doesn't come with a criminal record, and that those people can be sifted out and try to be avoided from the beginning.
Is there a registry where people can go to have a look? I mean, you mentioned agencies. Would each agency have its own registry, or is there a central sort of system where one can go and see what grading each nanny has, for instance?
Yes, there is the Child Protection Register that has got a little bit more media coverage in the last couple of months, where there is two types of lists that's created on a national level for anybody who has committed offences against children, who's gone onto one list and those offences are reported, and a second list who actually lists the individuals who are actually deemed unsuitable to look after children.
The case we're reporting on tonight, Erlo, is the worst possible scenario, a nanny accused of having killed a child who was left in their care. But how frequent in your experience are cases of children being abused by their minders?
For us as a nanny, we haven't had this type of case under our agency. We do become aware, and we get radio interviews, etc., or interviews like this, when a case like this does surface. And the circumstances around it as well, you've got to ask, who is this nanny? Where does she come from? Like you're asking, how was she screened? Was she acquired through an agency? Or was it a friend of a friend because of economic situations that you can't afford to work through an agency who actually does the screenings for you?
Erlo, Duncan, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you so much.